give us some time to talk a little bit about these quizzes. What about, you can also have catch, no catch by infielders. Okay, you can also have catch, no catch by infielders. So if you look at page 61 of your manual, so let's think about, if I have the first base umpire, and you can kind of see him standing, we haven't really talked about his position, but you can kind of see him standing over here. Right, he's sort of standing over here with nobody on base. Okay, so if he's standing over there and there's a catch, no catch on the infield, okay, catch, no catch by an infielder. The play guy has all the catch, no catch by the infielders, shortstop and third baseman. This might be slightly different. I'm going to have to go look at the CCA manual. I didn't bring it with me. There might be a slight difference with nobody on base, and I gotta check that. Jerry, you know where that is?
Yeah.
Figured if I'm wrong, Jerry, let me know. But this makes logical sense. The shortstop going to his left might belong to the base guy in the CCA manual. Are they identical coverages? Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't that one show the pitcher behind him though?
Yeah, the pitcher going backwards belongs to the first base umpire.
Actually, one difference is second coming in.
Second coming in belongs to the
Plate umpire.
Plate umpire. Okay, there's one slight difference.
And first.
But and the first base umpire going straight in belongs to the plate umpire.
First baseman, yes, sir.
Okay, so there's two slight differences here, and we'll talk about this. There's good reasons to go both ways, okay? And we're using the CCA manual, so you might have to color in your arrows here, so they're consistent with the CCA and what we're doing everybody else. But for the most part, if you ask most guy who's the coverage is, what's going to happen is we have two kind of catches you really have to worry about in the infield. Those are pop-ups, okay, pop-ups and line drives. Pop-ups are pretty simple. If the pop-up is to the second baseman or to the first baseman, it belongs to the first base guy. If the pop-up is to the shortstop or the third baseman, it belongs to the plate guy. Okay? If the pop-up is to the pitcher, unless he goes backwards off the back of the mound, which shouldn't happen in a game, but it does occasionally, rarely, but it can. If a pop-up is to the pitcher, it belongs to the plate umpire. If the pop-up is to the catcher, you have a little bit weird there. If the catcher moves out into the infield, it's going to belong to the plate umpire. If the ball has any chance at all of becoming fair, it's going to belong to the plate umpire. But if the ball is going to be clearly foul on the first base side, both guys can go help out on that. Because if it's going to be clearly foul, that it's a pop-up, it's going to be near the fence, then what we're going to do is we'll teach you how to, both guys will come down and bracket the catch. And then you'll have one guy on either side, and whoever he's facing will take the catch. But that's balls that are clearly foul. Not balls that could bounce and end up fair, but clearly foul. And obviously on the left-hand side, the catcher going over near the third base dugout can't belong to the base guy. Line drives are a little bit different. Right? Line drives that go to the second baseman or third baseman belong to the plate umpire. Line drives that go to the second baseman going to his right. So think about it. If you're the first base umpire, you're over there, and there's a line drive, and the second baseman goes like this, what are you going to see?
Nothing.
In umpire school, we call that bleep holes and elbows, right? Because that's what you see, holes and bows. Because you're like this, and all you see is right up his backside. You're not going to see it, okay? So that's going to belong, so the second baseman diving to his right to catch a line drive is going to belong to the plate umpire. The second baseman in CCA manual coming straight in belongs to the plate guy. This one's a gray area because you can see two very respected books call it slightly different. I thought there was two differences. This is one that's going to be bang bang. Think about, for credibility's sake, who's more credible? The first base umpire or the plate umpire on a line drive that's hit right at the second baseman? The first base umpire. Well, now it's going to kind of depend on where the first base umpire is standing. if he's standing like even or in front of the second baseman because of where the first baseman's playing, he's looking right at it. If he's standing back behind him and the guy goes, what's he looking at? Backside, right? So here's one where we will always say in a pregame, hey, when we get that ball hit right at the second baseman, and we're not sure, let's look at each other, make sure that we just look at each other really quick and communicate. If I don't know, and you don't know, let's look at each other so we don't have this. Right? We don't want this. There's nothing worse than this. Right? Or as Jim Evans says, there's nothing worse than an even number of umpires on a play. Right? And in his Texas twang, he said, never want an even number of umpires on a play. Right? Never an even number of umpires on a play. That's bad. Odd number of umpires, because there's no third thing, right? Everything is 2, so when somebody's going to win. Even number, bad. Okay? So look at each other. The same thing's going to be for that ball smoked right at the first baseman. Right? The same thing's going to be for the ball smoked right at the first baseman. The base umpire's closer,
Should be done.
so he's more credible. But the problem is if you set up right, you have to be slightly behind the first baseman. So if that ball's hit right at him, you may not see it. So you have to make eye contact. Again, you have to look. That's why in one book it'll say one thing, and the other book. So if you want to, in your book, kind of make it lines instead of shade, which means it could go either way. And look, if somebody, you're never going to get in trouble if you look at each other and the wrong guy calls it. Okay? Because that's one where you got to get it right. If the the first baseman's diving toward the line for a line drive, that's got to be the base umpire because that's his fair foul because the ball's beyond the base. It's got to be his fair foul, so he has to take it. Okay? He has to take it. If he's diving in the middle, we already talked, you're going to be looking up his butt. So that's going to belong to him. And then obviously a pop-up going backwards. And what's really kind of weird, to be honest with you, you know what happens on pop-ups, to be perfectly honest with you? The plate umpire gets them all. Because when the ball's popped up in the air in the infield, the base umpire's got to get to his next responsibility, so he pivots. And we haven't talked about that, but we'll talk about pivot. Most of you guys have umpires, so you know most of these words. Pop-up means pivot. Put that in your head. Pop-up means pivot. So if the ball's popped up, you go in and pivot. There's a slight exception we'll get to later. Pop-up means ball's popped up to the first baseman drifting around the foul line somewhere. It's a fair foul. You probably, unless, I'll get to it right now. If the ball's popped up to the first baseman and it's potential fair foul, if you're the base umpire and you have to go like this to see the ball, run away. But if you go like this and you look and you can take a step and turn and the first baseman's going to go right there and catch it right near you, then you can stay with the ball. But generally speaking, pop-up, pivot. So what's going to happen? The plate guy's going to get most pop-ups. But why do we show them backwards? Well, if the second baseman's going backwards going to make a circus catch, who's that belong to? Base umpire, and he wants to go out. If the first baseman's going to turn around and make a circus catch, base umpire, he wants to go out. So notice, when we have no runners on base, the fly ball, the pop-up responsibilities and the fly ball responsibilities are fluid. So if the base umpire says that's not trouble, he goes in and pivots. Anytime you're the plate umpire and you see the base umpire run to the middle of the field and the ball's still in the air, you're now responsible for that. Anytime you see the base umpire run away when nobody's on base, now you're responsible for the runners. So it's the base umpire that gets to decide who has coverage. The base umpire dictates coverage in two-man mechanics on pop-ups and fly balls. So look, if your silly base umpire goes out on a ball hit to the left fielder, you curse him all the way around the bases if you want, but you got to go around the bases, okay? We've all been there. We've all seen that guy that goes out on a ball hit to left field. You're like, dude, seriously. Carrying your gear around. Okay? That happens.
Tony, question.
Yes, sir.
On that situation where the plate umpire is making the call on the line drive, you look at each other, Is it then whoever calls it first?
No, you're gonna look and like, generally speaking, what'll happen is I'll look and I'll look at you and your eyes will be this big around and I'll go, you don't know. And then I'll go, hey, I got it. That's a catch, right? That's a catch. I'll do that. Or you could look at me just to make sure I haven't done anything and you could just right away, if you saw it immediately, just go, I got it. You know, and then make a catch. But the reason for looking at each other, and you might be 100% sure, you might be exactly right. You may have seen it perfectly, and you're yelling catch, and that guy thinks it's his responsibility, and he's saying no catch. Now we're in a mess. What we're trying to prevent is that when we are looking at each other, because you may go like this, you may say that was a catch, look in, and he's going no catch, and then you go, okay, now we got to keep on, we got to play no catch. And then if something happens and they want us to fix it, we have opportunities to fix it, but that comes later.
Right.
I'm not going to worry about that right now. Yes, sir?
I've been to several different camps, and one of the camps has told me on can of corn catches, everybody knows it's a catch. Don't worry about signaling or anything.
No, you never, again, it's like anything that's obvious, there's no reason to signal. Signals, if you think about signals are, and I don't know if they define signal in the book. I can't
It's
remember.
like page 12, right? No, before that. Sorry.
Alphabetical order.
Signal between partners
know
is the
that.
only one. They got signal between partners, and we'll talk about that later.
Consulting your partner on 5.
Mechanics, the signal to make a catch, no catch. By the way, if you look in the back of the book, all the signals that you want to make are in the back of the book, and there's pictures of them all, and we'll talk about how to make them all a little bit later. But look, generally speaking, signals are for you to inform the players and the spectators of what just happened. If the ball is hit in the air, and the guy catches it like this, and it's a can of corn, and you're saying catch, again, what I'm going to tell you is no bleep, Sherlock. Everybody in the whole ballpark sees that. Why are we doing this? Okay? Nothing cries more amateur, and not to make Tommy mad, nothing cries Little League more than the guy that goes,
We don't teach that.
catch, like this on it, except when they make it to Williamsport. Nothing cries more Little League than a guy saying, you know, making the mechanic turn and then the guy catches it like this and going, catch.
Yeah, we don't teach that anymore,
But
but
and all the guys in Williamsburg do it, but not Williamsport do it, but
that's the Southeast region ones.
It's not
See you,
Williamsport.
Tom.
But anyway, okay? So those are the kind of basics. So notice we've had, so now what we're going to do is we're going to build up responsibilities. What I thought might be fun in the meantime is, and I'll leave you with that quiz, is I got this quiz that I just yanked off of Referee Magazine. And if you don't get Referee Magazine, I would urge you to, I talked about it last week, I would urge you to get it. That's not the one I wanted to click. I gotta let it run and click. Come on. I guess we could talk about this briefly if it comes up. This was the picture, this is the first picture. These are some terms you have to know as we go through things, and you can see the picture. And you have the book there, but this is a useful diagram to think about, you know, some words and stuff we'll talk about. You know, you've heard me say things like the 45-foot line and the dirt circle, right? And we talked about third baseline extended, first baseline extended, point. We're going to come back to this guy, the imaginary box. We're going to talk about pivots. And this guy's really our friend. We'll talk about this, the working area and stuff later. I had just thrown that up, not knowing who had books, but they all do. But I really wanted to get this one out. I thought you did. We got a little bit of fun with this. I was going to try to get some of the old high school, last year's high school test and kind of grab some questions. I just couldn't get to it today. All right, this is the Umpire Quiz from Referee Magazine. So let's see. You got your rule books there. Okay, and let's see if we can't, let's play, and these might be things you don't know, but let's think about them, right? And here's one way to learn rules. Instead of going and reading the rule book, which you should do, by the way, and you should know entire rule 2, but read the rule book and then try to think about plays to go with it. Say we take, and I'll make this one a little bit bigger so we can see it.
No offense, Jerry, I gotta show you. I can't see. Told you to tell me that for years, but I really can't see.
Okay, here's the first question. Batter bunts F2 fields. Who's F2?
Catcher.
Catcher, right? F2 fields in front of the plate. The batter is running in fair territory past the start of the 3-foot running lane. We haven't covered this rule yet, but this might be fun to talk about, okay? He hasn't passed the 3-foot running lane when F2 realizes he doesn't have a line of sight to make a throw. So he can't throw because the runner, okay, the runner is past the start of the 3-foot running lane. He throws the ball 10 feet over the batter's head, okay? First baseman jumps up in the air and can't catch the ball. And he's running in fair territory past the 3-foot runner's lane. So if you look in your right, if you look at the pictures, what we're talking about is we know what the 3-foot running lane is. That's this dude right here, okay? So there's 3 places he can run in this 3-foot running lane. He can run within,
What page
which
is it?
means it's on page 58.
Thanks.
He can run within, which means between the foul line and the box. He can run outside, which means in foul territory. He can run inside, which means in fair territory. Okay, so the 3-foot runner's lane, and if you look at your rule book, somewhere in your rule book, I'll bet you we can find 3-foot runner's lane. So if we went in rule number 2 somewhere, I'll bet you we can find runner's lane. Gotta be runner's lane. Yes, Yoder?
Are you connected to the Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Want me to send you the 2013 test? NFHS test? You said you wanted it.
No, I was gonna talk about last year's test. How'd you get this?
No,
What do you
no,
have?
that is last year's.
Oh, that's
Last year's
what,
Okay.
you can later. I mean, cause we have this one, so it's just as much fun. Where's, runner's lane's not defined in here?
I'm saying runners,
Wow, I thought it would be defined.
runners. It goes straight from runners to hard runners to sacrifice.
Yeah, section 3.
So, how many of you know anything about the runner's lane? We haven't covered it. How many of you know anything about the runner's lane? Why is the runner's lane there? So let's talk about why. So let's think about this. Suppose you don't know. There you are, stuck in the game. You're like, oh no, what do I do? What were the words what was the phrase we used to decide if we don't know, what should we do? Common sense and fair play, right? Common sense and fair play. So why is the runner's lane put there? Why does the runner's lane exist?
So that if there's gonna be a bunch, the most common occurrence, but I guess it could be a little dribble or anything, where someone's gonna have to make a throw
To protect the run.
first.
No,
Hang on,
sorry.
Protect the run.
go ahead.
So the runner knows where he has to be, so the fielder can get to where they need to be to have an angle to make the throw. And everyone's
Don't
not-
overanalyze it.
All
Don't
right.
overanalyze it. You're on the right. Think about it. What are we trying to prevent with a runner's lane?
One from getting hurt, getting hit
Safety.
with the
Well, actually, it's not for safety. It's an old rule. It's to prevent the runner, right? Because we know this: if a runner is hit by a thrown ball, okay, unless he deliberately interferes, the ball remains alive and in play. Okay, so deliberately interferes in between all the other bases is really easy, right? Reaches up, grabs the ball, does something like that, right? Deliberately interferes, okay? But if he's running in the lane, within the lane, what we're arguing is if he's running, because here's what the ball is behind him. The catcher's picking up the ball and he has to throw it to first base, and the runner is running to first base. If he sees the first baseman go like this, and he cuts in front of him, he's deliberately interfered, hasn't he?
Yes.
If he sees the first baseman go like this, and he goes that way, he's deliberately interfered, hasn't he? So what we're doing is we're taking all of that out and saying, look, if you run in between those two white lines, you cannot be guilty of deliberate interference. Unless you turn around and bat the ball, et cetera, et cetera. But essentially, if you run in between those two lines, you cannot be guilty of interference. So what we're doing is we're preventing the batter runner from interfering, this is interesting, not with the throw, but with the first baseman's ability to field the ball at first base. When he interferes, he is not interfering with the throw. He's interfering with the first baseman's ability to field the throw. So if you find runner's lane violation, Jess, you found it already? What
Yes.
page is it on?
Page 52, letter G.
Page 52, letter G.
Yeah, 841.
So it would be
841G.
841G. Right? 841G. He runs outside the 3-foot running lane, last tab, blah, 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 while the ball is being fielded or thrown to first base, or this infraction is ignored if it is to avoid a fielder who is attempting to field the batted ball, or if the act does not interfere with a fielder or a throw. So they're slightly different. They say or a throw. Okay? The batter runner is considered outside the running lanes if either of his foot is outside the lane. So the catcher comes out, he sees, and he throws the ball over the guy's head.
So the answer to the question is B.
Okay, so is he legally running?
No.
He's not within the lane, okay? So if he's within the lane, he can't be guilty of interference. If he's inside or outside, because I'm running to first base, he's potentially illegal. He's not done anything wrong until there's a play being made to first base. Unless and until. Remember that box? I showed you the little box. If you go back and look at page 58, there's a little box that I just showed you, the imaginary box. And if you look at that box, it's about 25 feet from the plate, like that. If the ball's pretty much not coming out of that area, you're probably not gonna have runner's lane violation, okay? And that's a box that doesn't even make it to the mound. It's back in here. Because generally what has to happen, the ball has to be thrown from behind the batter runner.
Right,
From behind the batter runner.
no, the
Okay.
point.
So,
So it's,
go ahead.
it's C, because you can't feel the ball, it's 10 feet over your head.
Okay, is guilty of running lane interference while B is not where he is supposed to be, is not penalized because of the poor throw.
I think it's B.
It's gonna be.
The throw was made that way because of the runner being in the catch.
But you said the rules to protect the first baseman,
Right.
so you field the ball.
Right.
It doesn't have to
Now,
be
here,
the ball.
common sense and fair play, common sense and fair play, I agree with you. If you look in the NCAA book and the pro rule book, they also agree with you. Because you didn't interfere with the play at first base. The guy threw it over the guy's head.
Right,
High school, you have to temper your common sense and fair play with safety.
Because they don't want to peg
So
it back.
why did the kid throw the ball over his head?
keep it
Because
hidden.
he didn't want to hit the kid in the back. So now you got to be a mind reader on this one. Now you got to be a mind reader on this. By rule, if he throws the ball over his head, because the runner was in his way, you have interference. If you're not sure why he threw the ball over the guy's head, you don't have interference. Okay, just a bad throw because the guy's a bad throw, and so if the catcher, in other words, if that dude says a right-handed hitter, and he's running in this way, and the catcher's in foul territory, so he's got a direct line of sight to the first baseman, and he throws the ball over the first baseman's head.
Right.
Can't you tell by how hard he's throwing it?
It's
Does that-
you have to make a judgment.
Okay.
I don't like that judgment,
Okay.
and the other thing is, neither are most coaches gonna like that judgment.
No, I would agree with that.
So here's how I would interpret the rule, and you can take it for what it is, and we're on video, and this will go out forever, or we'll hide it, and nobody will hear it ever again. But anyway, I would look at it like this: unless I was sure that when I got behind, like if we were all of us lined up in a row, the first baseman, the runner, the catcher, and I were all lined up in a straight line, and I looked and I couldn't see any of them except the catcher, then I'm willing to give the catcher the benefit of the doubt. But if any one of them is out of phase so there I can see one of them, guess what? I'm not calling that interference. Because it doesn't look like interference, because the guy, now if he goes like this, right? That being said, if he goes,
Yeah.
and you see what he's doing, then you have a violation.
Well, it's more likely that that's going to happen if the bunt is down the first baseline.
Yes.
If it's, you
But
know.
most catchers at the high school level are gonna throw the ball through his back.
Yeah.
That's not, they don't want that to happen, but that's what's gonna happen. If you're working, now you gotta understand, every other rule book, if it's not a good throw, that is, that's the wrong way to put it. If he interferes with the first baseman's ability to field the throw, it's interference. So it could be a bad throw. It could be a throw that skips in the dirt. Well, we expect first baseman to pick balls skipped in the dirt. So if it's skipped in the dirt and the guy is outside the lane or inside the lane and the ball goes between his legs and the first baseman's going like this, well, that dude interfered, right? Even though the throw is in, because we expect first baseman to pick balls out of the dirt. So in this case, in high school rules, 841G, right? 841G, we're gonna go answer
B.
B.
And that's the home plate umpire's call?
Yes, yes.
All day, every day.
Okay. Actually, let me see if I can find, since we're here, and this is the play that came up. I honestly didn't know which play, I don't remember which play came first, but I might have. I promise you, remember we were looking at those videos the first day? You'll like this. This will be fun. Let's see. Didn't I have a thing called Umpire Videos? You guys will like this, I hope.
Yeah. Like videos.
Is this Pyramid video?
No, we don't want to see Pyramid blow stuff. He's just...
Actually, Pyramid didn't make the call, but.
All right, here's one. Leave me alone. Whatever. Yeah, fine. Come on. Just show my video. Please just show my video.
Peterson to make.
I need to bring a mouse pad in here so I can actually.
Yeah.
This table ain't worth a.
Wait.
You have somebody get on all fours.
Why don't you use one of the rule books?
It's up, man.
Yeah, I see. Oops, missed it.
There we go.
What about that one?
Oh,
Ooh, come on.
yeah. I didn't see that one very often. They hit him?
How about this one? Is this one runner's lane violation?
Oh!
No.
He's out.
Can never have a runner's lane violation moving away from the base.
No.
It's always going to first.
Oh.
That dude's out at first. So guess what? Now the force play's off at the plate if there was a force play, right? We all know that?
Right.
That wasn't the play I was looking for, but I thought that one was pretty cool. I'm looking for a different one. There's two of them in a row that are really cool. How about this one? Come on. Come on. I had two really cool plays, and they're the same guy, 2 days apart. Runner's lane violation. Date back. Go away. I don't want you anymore. Go away. I need to get a new laptop. Anybody want to buy me a laptop? This thing's about 6 years old.
Yeah, Santa can bring you one.
Hmm?
Santa Claus will bring you one.
Yeah.
It's on Santa's lap. Tell me what you want.
Unfortunately, when you're Santa Claus,
Like a 4-year-old.
What, you mean?
Santa
You mean there's no Santa?
What?
Devastated.
What?
the other thing is these videos are all on Dropbox, so they're not on this computer, so I'm downloading them, so they're on those here.
did you just get a laptop on Black Friday?
Cause I don't have the money for it right now, and making you guys sit here for a little while doesn't bother me all that.
We're all poor umpires, that's why.
How about that one?
That looks like you,
That looks really, really
Yeah.
close.
Wow.
Which foot was down?
Oh,
yeah, he's out.
he's out.
He's
He's out.
Well,
He's
That's a
out.
tough call to make. One, in.
wait, where is he, where is he?
Left
Is he
foot.
within,
Out.
is he within a step of her first base?
No.
Probably
No.
not.
Alright, hang on,
Why is the, oh, cause they're four man, never mind.
hang on. I gotta find it. Hang on. Here we go. Here we go. This is awesome. Okay, this one's easy. I'm gonna show you two that you're gonna, that are lots and lots of fun. This one's an obvious one. Look at where he's running.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
The grass.
He's running, bang.
Very good.
It hit him in the back, right? Did that interfere with the ability to make the catch?
Nope.
No.
Absolutely.
Sure it did. It hit him. If it hit him, there's no way the guy can make the catch.
Yeah.
I didn't see
He's
it.
walking.
He's already
He's
already
saying he's.
Yeah, okay, I'm.
Came up to argue and.
Boom!
Now you're done.
And when I was
Kerwin dumped him. Look at where he's running. That throw's coming from behind
Come
him.
on, man, you got green stain on your cleats.
Look, here's the deal. If it hits him and he's where he is,
he's out.
he's out. Who's cheating here?
The runner.
And he knows it.
Okay. All right, that's not the one I wanted to show you. These are easy. Okay. These are my favorite.
But what if it didn't hit him?
Then it's probably not a good throw, and we're probably gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Then he doesn't deserve to be in the majors.
Like that.
Yeah.
Send him back down.
All right.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, there we go.
Really?
Step and reach.
Step in the reach, he's safe. Hmm.
So is the question, is that interference?
No, yeah.
No, I just like this play. Watch this, because it's two very similar plays all at once. And I just thought of this one today.
Step in a, he's out.
All right, we know
According to the rule
from
book.
before, if you remember,
He's good.
we had a
Step and
rule
reach.
before. We talked about you're out if you do what? We
Step
talked
and-
about it last week.
Step in a reach.
Step and a reach, okay? All right, if you avoid the tag. Now, we also know what? That when a runner is running toward a base, he has to avoid the fielder fielding the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's responsible to avoid the fielder fielding the ball,
Uh-huh.
okay? So,
Then he becomes a straight line
Hang
from
on,
the
hang
runner
on.
to
Watch
the base.
this.
I see.
Okay?
I see what you're saying.
damn it.
Right.
Darn it.
Like three feet
Okay.
so far.
Where is he right now?
He's
In the lane.
He's
On the edge.
He's
Ball
3
outside the
feet,
lane.
he's 3 feet from the foul line, yes?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, 3 feet from the foul line. Has that guy fielded the ball yet?
No.
Can't tell.
Doesn't. Doesn't.
Okay.
appear.
Doesn't matter, because what's the rule say?
Must avoid contact.
To avoid a tag. More than 3 feet out of the baseline to avoid a tag. Is he avoiding a tag yet?
No.
So is he avoiding a throw?
No.
So does runner's lane come into this at all?
No.
No. The runner's lane just gives us a 3 foot mark that we can see. So right now he's about 3 feet from the line.
And that was his baseline.
No.
Now
No.
look,
Not going to
What is that? 2 feet outside of the line.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's.
now if he was on the line and now he wants to avoid a tag, he has
A step
more
and a
feet.
reach.
3 more
Right.
feet to
Right.
his right.
That's what I was saying.
Okay?
He established his own run, his own baseline.
Okay. So that meant when he was here, right, he could go 3 feet either way of this line.
And if that's three.
And is he 3 feet either way of that line right now?
No.
Yes.
No.
No, he's not.
Oh no.
He's not even, look,
He's less than
that's
five.
3
I meant.
feet.
I meant within.
That's,
Yeah.
so he's within the 3 feet. So is he out of the baseline?
No.
No.
Because of where he was running on the edge of runner's lane, and that's just there for that. Runner's lane, a lot of guys want to bring runner's lane violation into this. This is another reason I showed you this. What does runner's lane have to do with?
If there's no.
A ball being thrown to first base.
Right.
Okay? A ball being thrown. And if you really want to think about it, you know, they have that, I showed you the box in your picture. You could take that and kind of make it like with a handle that kind of runs up the first baseline. Because if it's within 3 or 4 or 5 feet of the first baseline, and the guy comes over and fields it behind the runner and throws it, you can still get runner's lane violation. The point is, if the third baseman fields it somewhere between the mound and the foul line, a good throw is never. The only way the guy could violate the runner's lane was if he was running like 40 feet inside. Okay, that's kind of the point here. So this guy right here, you think he's run out of the lane? Doesn't matter, right? Do you think he's gone more than 3 feet to avoid a tag?
No. Look at the positioning of U1.
What he does is straight line to the back.
Perfect between the play.
Look at it. U1's looking right through that dude.
Right between it.
Yeah.
U1 right here,
Money
looking
shot.
right through that dude. Now I'd like him to be set, but he was making an adjustment. He's going for his adjusted play right there. And sometimes that little adjustment's better than being, ideally he'd like to be stopped, but seeing it is better than not seeing it. Okay? Come on.
Yeah, he misses first.
Okay, wait, by the way, did you notice that he missed first
Yeah, he
base
missed
when he went
first
by?
base. Yeah.
Should have tagged him.
Okay? If he missed first base
He
and
don't
he
have to, still forward.
goes by, he's safe because he's past the base.
Right.
So for purpose of the rule, he's safe unless they appeal. They actually have to appeal. We haven't talked. He actually has to go, hey, he missed. Okay? And he didn't. So we got a lot of rules going on here, don't we? A whole bunch of stuff going on here. Okay, now he's safe. It doesn't matter what because he's standing on the base. Okay? Now he's standing on the base. They can't appeal him anymore because he's, hey, he missed first base. What? He's standing there. How could he have missed it?
So
Well, it doesn't matter. He's standing on it right
At the
now.
moment he goes by, they would have to appeal right
Then and there.
Okay.
Well, they
Before
would've
he gets back.
They would have had to just tag him.
Yes, right.
I mean, you don't have time to appeal it.
Okay? Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And they're claiming out of the baseline. Ronnie Culpa says he's not out of the baseline. Now watch this one. Wait, it gets more fun.
Oh.
Wait, no, different watch.
That was cool.
Okay. We're gonna see the same play again. Gonna see the same play again from a slight, I think this is a slightly different camera angle. Or it might just be longer. And then you're gonna see the same dude the next night in roughly the same play, and it has a different result.
Wow. I mean, different call.
Yeah.
So one of the two teams,
Come on.
Learned from the night before, the other one didn't.
Somebody made a call to
Right.
the MLB.
So if this happens again, somebody was paying attention.
Sorry.
No, it's a different, it's an
Some dude
entirely,
in the fan
it's
cave
really
called.
wild, because Vince Scully's up there, and I love Vince Scully, and Vince Scully's up there going, hey,
Must have been played.
I don't know what the heck, and Vince Scully's great.
He is great.
He doesn't give anybody,
All these bloopers coming from the Dodger Stadium.
these are really old.
Yeah, they're all in. Look at his
Yeah,
back
right
foot.
left foot.
Okay, hang on, so
Yeah.
you notice that left foot?
Yeah, man.
I think he's out of the batter's
Hang
box.
on,
He's definitely
hang on.
No, he's on the front line.
That's not gonna get called.
Is he stepping on the plate?
Well,
Can't tell with the
I
guys.
think he's out of the batter's box.
You sure he's out of the batter's box?
Yes.
I'm not sure he's out of the batter's
I'm
box.
not-
Yeah, I think he's
Right.
The batter's box is 6 inches from the line, and his foot, I mean,
It's hard to tell.
and I'm gonna tell you what, you're the plate umpire, what are you looking at?
Well, the ball in the
The
bat.
ball, you're not gonna, you know, if you call that, you're a booger picker.
Yeah.
Well, I might-
Yeah, I wouldn't
Don't
call.
pick boogers, okay? Don't pick boogers, okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
Now look at this one.
Same play?
No.
That's the same play that we just saw, right? Boom.
Missed.
Now, he's standing on the base when he went by. Why is he not out?
Because he went past the base.
He went past it, there's no accidental appeals. We'll talk about appeals at some point. So these guys are gonna go, he missed it 3 times, he should have been out here, he should have been out there, and he should have been out because he didn't touch first base. They don't know the rules.
once he goes past, he's safe.
Safe.
Now you have to apply tag, it's not
So the
forced.
force is off now.
Well, there never was a force.
That's right, the
Remember,
throw out.
This is a throw out, right?
Throw out,
This is not a force. Why is this not a force? Because a force is when a runner loses his right to a base by virtue of the batter becoming a runner. Can a batter runner ever be forced? No. All right, so everything's cool, safe, safe, safe.
Why is he not out on that?
Because he went past the base. Soon as he goes past the base, he's safe
It's
unless he's
like
appealed.
It's more like a finish line than it is tagging the base back.
So he's past the
If he
base,
this is why appeals exist in the rule
he
book.
makes the
When
catch.
you pass the base, for purpose of the rule, you've attained the base.
He needs to tag him
Unless
coming
you
back.
go, unless you're
right.
appealed.
Yeah.
So either right there, if that guy went like this,
Boom,
hey
tag.
Ronnie, he missed first. Okay, boom, out. Because you, right, if he goes, hey, he missed first right now and he's standing on the base, out.
No.
You're right.
Or if
missed
he
first.
reaches down and
If he
tags
reaches down and tags him, he goes, hey, he has to reach down, tag him, and say, hey, he missed first.
You do have to say it?
Well, it's gotta
Oh,
be
yeah,
an
because
unmistakable,
okay.
it's gotta be an
Okay, yeah.
unmistakable act or a verbal request.
So he needs to say it.
Because he's allowed to go past, at first base.
We don't know a lot about appeals right now, so let's leave it.
Okay.
We haven't talked, we'll get to appeals. Appeals are fun, okay? Now what? Yeah, he's out of the batter's
Safe
box,
right
blah, blah,
there.
blah, 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 blah,
So he's
blah.
safe.
Now watch this one. Same guy the next night. Okay? And you
Which
wanna
might
be
be
an
when we
umpire.
get to
Were the announcers all over the place on that?
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
know
Scully
anything.
wasn't
They're
sure.
completely wrong.
Yeah,
And by the way, how do you know when Tim McCarver's wrong about a rule?
when he's
When his nose
talking.
are
When
moving.
he's talking.
That's a fact.
Idiot.
Oh.
He's talking.
All right, here we go,
He
next
gets
night.
paid more than we do, so.
Certainly does.
Come on, don't do this to me.
Ooh.
Whoa, huh?
Oh.
Whoa, two.
Because I guess, well, he wasn't making a play on the runner, so you're gonna change things?
Now watch, wait, watch.
Now,
Now, this is
here's
cool.
the difference.
Now watch the difference.
Now,
When did he?
Yeah, he fielded the ball well inside the line.
About the same way he
So
fielded it
come-
last time.
No.
So, come on.
okay.
See, that's where he, now
Okay,
he's
now
not.
where does he start moving?
His
When he was
left
avoiding
foot was on the foul line
Inside.
when the pitcher
Inside.
started running at him.
Right.
So his left
So-
foot was on the foul line when the pitcher started running at him. So
So-
now he has 3 more feet from there. And what did he do?
He's
He went outside.
He is certainly more than. And does the runner's lane matter here?
No.
No.
No, but it gives you a
It just
great
gives you a nice
3 feet.
3-foot mark, right?
Right.
Look at where he is. So this time,
He's out.
he actually avoided the tag because in the first time he moved out to avoid the fielder, then he got 3 more feet. Here, he was running straight up the line, saw the guy coming at him, went like this, and now he went 3 feet to avoid the tag.
Wow. Again, look at U1's position, right in the middle.
Yep.
Well, U1's in a bad position to see this right here, but he's to see the out, but he's in a good position to see the tag.
Yeah.
The plate guy is the guy that got that, and that should be his call.
And he's up there, right?
The plate
On top of
guy's
the-
right.
He
plate
got
guy's
the out
right
of,
here.
running out of the baseline?
But he's on top of the catcher's helmet, right? That's the
Yeah.
shadow right there?
Yeah,
No,
I
what,
think so, isn't it?
what I'm asking is the plate guy
The plate
made
guy
the
got
call for the out of
The
the
plate
baseline.
guy got the out of baseline. You'll see him.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Great job by him.
He doesn't make.
You know, the first
He,
base.
they both
No?
got it. I mean,
Yeah.
so you see the difference in the 2 plays?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Back to back, night after night.
And he was actually farther out the night before.
Yeah, he was.
From the baseline.
Yes, from the baseline,
So-
further out and legal because of the nature of that play.
So Tim McCarver would have had a field day 2 nights in a row with
Yes.
that right there. And been wrong both times.
And Roberts is like,
But
I
you
was
know what
only
he
right
said?
there, right? Roberts is
Last night
going,
I
I
was
was only right there. Last night I was way over here. Yeah, but that was
Here's the-
last
here's the-
night.
here's the great
Different
player.
play. And you can see, boom, right there. You could clear as day see that foot on the chalk, and then the next one outside the chalk, no doubt about it, right?
You can tell by where he's reaching. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
You got Billings there?
That's awesome.
All right, hang on, I think
That's
I
pretty
think I
impressive that they-
actually got a
that they
runner's
got.
lane violation here somewhere. Aren't those two great? How about this one? What would you do with this one?
Man, I don't know about any one.
All right, and we'll go, and we'll,
So we've got one question in.
what are you gonna do with this one? Okay, we got a rundown.
The little mouse is messing me up. Little mouse pointer. Oh, I keep seeing that running around.
Whoa, that, now we might have, come on, let's.
Remember, we have malicious contact rules in this game. Okay, he didn't
Tag,
avoid
didn't
ball,
jump. Yeah,
safe,
safe.
why is he safe? Didn't firm and secure possession.
Oh, I'd say he's definitely safe.
I got no call.
Malicious contact.
No, the guy.
Watch real close again.
it's malicious
Watch
contact.
real close again.
He
Okay,
throws.
no cat, right? No tag.
Oh, he goes at him hard right here. Watch.
Oh.
You
Oh,
barrel
yeah.
roll, man.
Yeah, you didn't see that.
That's pretty. He barrel rolled.
Unfortunately, the runner is still out.
Because initially it looked like the reason that there was such a violent collision was because the runner stopped and came back, but now right there.
Now there, you can see him
We
bear
got,
down.
yeah,
like this.
I got arms going out.
You know who that is, by the way. Who that first baseman is. This is Longwood.
First baseman?
This is Longwood playing Charleston Southern in the Big South tournament. I'm sitting in the stands watching it. The other crew is working.
Who the umpire?
Tyler didn't dump him. Somebody else ended up dumping him.
Notice the first base umpire was getting ready to call him out.
Yeah.
He watch right here. He just-
Right, bad, and we talked about that.
Yeah, he
We
started-
talked about that. Bad timing, right?
Yeah.
What did he do? He didn't confirm firm and secure possession.
Right.
Which, by the way, is you should never be pointing at a tag like that, but the good thing he didn't. He
Yeah.
did, because otherwise it'd have been a mess,
Yeah.
right? And we talked about that after the game, said, why did you do that? I didn't do that. Yeah, you did. We can see it on video.
Did he give you the play?
You're right, and he was why, so here's one thing we can learn, right? This is a Division I tournament.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's a local kid.
Who dumped him?
I'm trying to remember who dumped him. I think the plate guy came out and dumped him. I think the plate guy dumped him. The first base guy might have dumped him. I can't remember. That guy should have dumped him and he didn't. And they just for lots of reasons, but he didn't dump him.
Who are
So
we talking about, the runner or the fielder?
the fielder
Fielder
got
did.
dumped.
Initiate contact.
Because he comes in.
For malicious
He just
con, was
runs
it
over.
Malicious.
Well, yeah,
malicious?
Right,
watch
watch
it.
it, extends his arm and trucks him.
Bam!
Blows him up.
He can't do that.
You're out and you're out.
Yeah. It'd have been, out, boom, and I'd have boomed that kid. That guy right there, that kid.
You
He'd have got boom for that, man. Boom, just blew the kid up. You
You
gotta
said
run.
somebody was a local guy, are you talking about the
Player.
Yeah,
umpire or
the kid
player?
is actually playing first base as a kid from Richmond.
Who is it?
Okay, I'll show you one more. This is a rule change in high school this year. So I'll show it to you since it's up, and then we'll get out of here, because we're past our time. Okay. As much fun as we're having. This is actually a rule change this year. That's Jeff Nelson, he's in Chicago. He's one of the best big league umpires there is. Great guy, too.
Backswing guy.
Got him with
Backswing.
when he swung, he came around and he hit him with the backswing.
Are they defining backswing interference in high school?
See now in this one, the guy couldn't catch the foul tip, so the backswing, so we're gonna get him. If that was a throw, say there was a guy stealing the base, what we would have done is we would have said, you need to go back to first base, okay? You gotta go back to first base. High school baseball this year, if the guy's stealing right there, and that's not strike three, the batter's out.
Oh.
What do we do with the runner? Put him back?
Yeah, the runner goes back unless there's two outs, unless the batter is strike three. If the batter has strike three, then the batter's out and the runner's out.
So are they,
And that's true on any interference. We haven't talked about interference yet, but this is a change this year in high school. That backswing interference doesn't exist. In fact, in the high school rule book, it never differentiated, and one of the guys tried to get it made so it could be differentiated, and I think they misunderstood what he wanted. And instead of going backswing doesn't count, they said, oh yeah, you're right, backswing is interference too. In college baseball, in pro baseball, if you backswing and hit the guy, it's just basically stop. Stop. Unless, because there were some guys in college, and college kids are really good at this, they would go, and then they would, kids from Texas, they would swing, and then when they knew their guy was stealing, they would reach around and poke the guy with a bat like that as the catcher got up. So they would kind of wait, and then they would stick the bat this way so the catcher would hit the bat as he tried to come between them, like that. And so the college said, if it's intentional, we're going to get you.
Yeah.
So all kind of stuff you got to look for, right? All kind of stuff you got to look for.
So,
I got a whole bunch of, in high school baseball there's no more, there never was, but now it's explicit. Backswing interference, it says including his backswing.
I don't know that I've ever had a backswing interference. Do you see it or do you hear it as an umpire?
You hear it.
You hear it.
Sometimes you see it.
So is it, okay, so
see all these hands right here.
It's a lot easier seeing it as catcher's interference.
See, what Nelson's saying is, look, if you hadn't hit him in the back of the glove,
He'd have
he'd
made
have
the
caught
catch.
it. We're going to call that foul tip strike 3. So we're not going to give you, so basically it's a nothing happened play. So in college baseball and in all non-high school baseball, it's a, hey, stop there, just stop. Nothing else can happen. Ball's dead, everybody goes back, there's no penalty.
Yeah.
Because the kid would have caught the ball anyway, so you're not penalizing anybody. The batter was out because he caught the ball. What prevented firm and secure possession on that foul tip, or even if he had swung and missed, was the batter hitting him with the bat. So we're going to give the catcher credit for firm and secure possession, voluntary release, and he got hit. But we're not going to say the batter interfered because the batter was just doing what he was supposed to be doing, which was swinging at the pitch. Okay? High school baseball, they got to control their backswing. Okay? Anybody got any questions? What do you want to do next week? Keep going with mechanics?
Yeah.
Maybe a little mechanic, and then maybe play with the rule quiz a little bit. We'll play with that rule quiz, see how you guys do on that rule quiz for next week. All right, and then we'll take a couple weeks off, and then we'll crank up again for a little bit.
Next
And
Thursday.
then I think what I want to try to do after we're a couple weeks is maybe come in here, talk a little bit about plate stance, how to get in a plate stance, what a plate stance is, how to take your mask on without taking your mask off, without taking your hat off, how to hold an indicator with your mask, get into some plate stance, maybe teach you a little bit about tracking, moving your eyes with the ball, all that stuff before we go to cages. And I don't want to take you to cages until you've learned. We can do a whole bunch of stuff in here before we get in cages. Right? Cages can be pretty intimidating if you've never been